evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kilroy the Red, and welcome to Video Game Science. We are in the test map of Trailmakers because we're going to be doing some physics experiments. Hooray for the nerdiness. Okay, let's get right into it. What do we want to start with? Well, obviously we need a test platform. Always got to have a test platform. Now, we don't want this rigidly connected to the ground, but we don't want it sliding away. So we're going to start with some rubber feet. Bam. Okay. Now, we're going to need some controls. So let's whang a seat onto this bad boy. Clunk. Okay, that is not going to want to go anywhere. So now we need a mechanism. Okay. Actually, let's go. So we're going to be, first experiment, we're going to be testing thrust. So actually, I think we want a parallelogram. First things first, we need these to be, yeah, sure, that'll be fine. Strength, 0. Here we go. Right. Okay, so frameage, 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 tubage. Let's go with tubage. All right. Right. Okay. So right. And if we go and whang that there. Whang that there. So, we want propulsion. We want rocket thruster there. We'll go ahead and put a block in front of it. moving. Well, we'll see what that does. And so, we should get no movement. Both engines are to the same thrust ratio, the same control. We're going to have the same ramp up. Yes. Okay, perfect. Now, if I go and configure this one down to 0.9. Right. Excellent. Figure we're going to up the angle. Going to give 60 degrees. Now, okay. So let's see what... No. Okay. Let's see what that does. Okay. Good. Good. Good, 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 good. That had the desired effect. So I don't know if you know what you're seeing right now. But what's happening is because the parallelogram is off center from it is forward of its center pivot, the net result is that as the left-hand one proceeds forward, it gets closer to the center of rotation, and the right-hand one, as it proceeds backwards, gets further from the center of rotation. Thus, even though the one on the left has a higher thrust output, has a marginally higher thrust output, it eventually loses so much leverage that the lower thrust output can now push harder. Perfect. So we need to double down on that. now we need to bring it forward. Oh. All right, one more. Okay. I think I need to widen. Oops. Yeah, we need to shorten that. Right. We don't want pipe, we don't want pinching and binding of the pipage. So we'll see if that has any. Good. We're going to notch this down one more. And we're going to up this strength to 10. 10% strength, so it's going to have a little bit of a spring return. Maybe we don't want, because somehow I want dampening, but I'm not quite sure how to get. Not sure how to achieve dampening in this. Nice. Okay, let's see if I can figure out how to get some dampening in here. So let's see. If I was to use this. Right, okay. Let's just see what we've got for yeah. Yeah, let's just see what we got. This. Okay. So, we're going to put the stiffening down to absolute minimum, dampening up to absolute maximum. What do we get? Do we get any motion? We don't get any motion at all. Alright. Stiffness to 0. Okay. Dampening to 0.1. Interesting. Vaguely interesting. Okay, so let's see. We got steering hinge. Nice. There we go. Pipage. Okay. Okay. That should do. Now I just got to replicate it on the other side. Okay. Yeah, so you can see the calculated center of thrust is off center from the pivot points, which also just happen to be in line with the center of mass. So the balance point for this should be where this part of this pipe is about halfway. Right, there's no ability to stretch the suspension. Okay, so that means I have to preload the suspension to actually get any kind of movement out of it. So this has got one block of movement. We want to go, oops, undo. We want to go bigger. We want more movement. So, how do we preload? That is relatively simple. That's what these guys are for. Okay, I'm going to move everything out by 1. Because we want space to work. Okay, so if I have this configured, start position is 0.5, which should be halfway, and then do nothing. When I spawn it in, it is nice. Yeah, it contracts halfway. Perfect. Now we just got to replicate this on the other side. Excellentimo. Don't need this elbow now. And blammo. Okay. Both are now preloaded equally. Nothing has moved. And so... maybe I don't want to preload to full halfway. Maybe I want to start position of 0.6, 0.7. Let's see what we got there. Okay, let's try a slightly different tactic. Okay, perfect. No, gadget. 'Tis a gadget that I seek. Gripper foot. Clunk. Okay. What are we binding on? Mechanic? Gadget? Yes, here it is. Toggle. Excuse me. Oh, we're hitting on these things. Right. Okay. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and slap one over there. Yeah. Right. Looks like we just want more spring compression. Okay, we got a bit of stretching going on there. So we do have some separation going on there. So that means we need to. Well, we've got almost a full compression there. Okay. Okay, now. Excuse, god damn. Let's go down to 0.4. Okay, I think we've got full range of motion, and now we've got dampening. Time to... Ah, yes, the camera needs to go down one block. Perfect. Now... Um, Spring's force is supposed to be 0. Interesting, interesting. Interesting. Alright. Let's turn the dampening all the way up. Yeah, okay, I'm a little disappointed in the devs for not doing suspension correctly. Turning the dampening up should not require more force to compress it. We do come to an equilibrium point. Okay, I think we've got our test platform. Good. So, the real reason I built this was to test aerodynamic resistance. Aerodynamical resistance. Need some steering hinges. Actually, that's kind of funny. That is broadly hilarious that that worked out. I think we're going to ditch this and the camera for now. Right, okay, let's see. What do we want to test first? Which aerodynamics do we wish to test first? Let's see, we've got a fairly aerodynamic block with a fairly aerodynamic block. Let's see if there's an actual difference between these two. Point 4, point 3. Not can be seen at this speed, and not can be seen at this level of dampening. Alright, they appear to be exactly equivalent. So let's put that up against an extremely aerodynamic block. 0.6, 0.3. We'll keep the weights the same, just... Hey, look at that! Alright, we've got aerodynamic drag. Oh yeah, because backwards... So yeah, when we're dealing with this low power stuff, huh, nice, that works out perfectly. Excellent, excellent. Okay, now, so there is indeed a measurable aerodynamic difference between those two blocks. Of course, we expected that to be the case. So... Now, let's see if our rig is sensitive to weight imbalance. Those should have the same aerodynamic profile. Okay, yes. The initial startup, the heavier one dipped it backwards first. But because we've got equivalent force, it's self-centered. Very good. Very good. We have an adequate test bed. We have an appropriate test bed. Let's turn these up to just a teeny tiny little bit, just so they're not flopping all over the place. Still a little floppage. But good. Good, 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 good. This is good. Okay, now we're going to get into... Now we're going to get into the weeds. No. Okay, now it's time to try the actual lift and drag parts against regular blocks. So this is a small tail fin, and when turned sideways, we're going to put on the aerodynamics. We have 4 relatively bright red arrows. So let's see what happens when we've got what is assumed to be an equivalent aerodynamic profile. I'm not sure which is brighter. I guess we'll find out. Okay, these are supposed to have the same aerodynamic profile, but if one generates more resistance than the other, we'll know. Look at that! Oh yeah, that is definitive. Okay. Let's double the aerodynamic profile on the block side. Oh, the tail fin still has a greater aerodynamic profile drag profile. Interesting. Let's go big. So this is 4 by 8. So that's double wide, quadruple long. So what is that? 8 times? Should be 8 times, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 8 times. 8 times the surface area. An initial, because it's heavier. Oh, we've got an equilibrium. We have equilibrium, and it's not at its max, because that's max. Ho ho, look at that. So one simple tail fin turned sideways is almost the same aerodynamic resistance as a 4x8 turned widthwise. So maybe it's a 4x6? There we go, 4x6. Ooh, closer. Four by 5, maybe. Ooh, look at that. So yes. Interesting. So a small tail fin has the same aerodynamic profile as a small simple tail fin turned sideways is the same drag profile as 20 square 20 square pegs. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Would you look at that? Okay, now let's switch this up for the powered one. Powered tail fin with artificially enhanced drag. Oh, that's a big one. And I would say that the tail fins already have artificially enhanced drag. Okay, this is obviously going to be, yeah, definitely in its favor. So, the question is it double? Heavy, right? Oh, would you look at that? It's not quite double, but it's close. Interesting. Okay. Tail fence greater. Yeah, it's about there. So, alright, that is an interesting piece of knowledge, that the powered stuff, at least the small one, is twice as effective That's the non-powered stuff. Beverage. Okay. Very swanky. We are learning. We are learning some things about how this game engine works. So alright, so a small one was 20, and so this one is 4 by 10. So yeah, it's 20 to 1, well not 20 to 1, 4 and then 20, so it's a 5 to 1, and then of course the powered is a 10 to 1. Perfect. Okay, so how does the powered simple tail fin, so we've got 3 by 5, which is 15 spaces. This is only 4. Okay. I think we need more engine power. Interesting. So, what about the big tail fin, which is 4 by 4? So this is 16 versus 15. Hello, Matthew. What are you doing, cat? Ooh, cat. Cat, you. Okay, so the big one should, yeah, just narrowly win. Oh, look at that! Let's throw some downforce on the front, shall we? Meow. Nice. Very tasty. Very, very tasty. And so then, of course, the powered version would indeed be oh yeah, definitively. Without question. Oh. That's quite the drag. That is quite the drag profile. So yeah, the big one is just ever so slightly bigger. Nice. Okay. So I think we're going to need the dampeners in now. I'm going to turn the aerodynamics off. Okay, let's check. Modular wing versus flap wing. Supposed to be the same. Let's see if they have the same aerodynamic profile. I guess we'll remove the dampening. We'll undo the dampening. The flap wing is ever so slightly heavier. Okay, I would say that they are of equivalent drag. What about an aileron, though? Supposed to be 4x4. This is also 4x4. Oh, look at that! Massively augmented. Now, how does the wing pieces compare to... Aileron's going to win. Oh yeah, big time. We're going to go back to a wing. Okay, the wing is greater. Okay, they've got a 2-to-1. So the wing pieces are a 2-to-1 drag increase. The tail fins are a 5-to-1. Well, let's check the simple tail fin. Let's see if it is indeed a 5-to-1. Okay, so this is a 3x5. So we need 5 by... Let's see, a 5-to-1. 3x5 is 15. So I guess we need to be 5 by 15. So it says right there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So let's see, we got 5 by 15. So yeah, it's 5 by 3. That should be 5 to 1. And yeah, I'd say it's a 5 to 1. Interesting. Interesting. So I wonder if the sails then are augmented drag. We'll start with a small rectangular sail. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 5 by 9. Okay then. Whoops. Yeah, well, this is... That one does have the mechanical advantage right now, so... Yeah. Okay. Majorly. Let's see if it's a 2 to 1. That's a little better than 2 to 1. It is a little better than 2 to 1. I don't know what that is. We bigger? Yes. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so what is this? This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 18, 20, 21. 5 by 21, which is 100 and... 5 by 21 is 105. Ooh, I've been doing this wrong the whole time. This is 6 by 9, not 5 by 9. 6, 8. Now, it's going to be it's going to be small wonder. Right. Sail wins. Definitively, the sail wins. The question is, so that should be a proper 2-to-1. Hey, look at that. Alright, so the sails are a 2-to-1 drag augmentation. Just like the wings are a 2-to-1 drag augmentation. Tail fins are a 5-to-1 drag augmentation. Interesting. What about the paddles? Okay, this is 4x4, I think. Yes, 4x4. Right, as I expected. So is it a 2-to-1, like the sail? Or is it going to be a 5-to-1, maybe? Okay, oh. Ooh. These guys are a 4-to-1, or just under a 4-to-1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. That looks pretty. It's slightly skewing in favor of the... Still slightly skewing in favor... Well, now it's slightly skewing in favor of the paddle. Let's go back to 4-to-1. Now it's skewing in favor of the wall. Alright, so I'd call that close enough to 4-to-1. Neat. Well, how do you like them apples? What was the wing is a... was a 2-to-1. Wasn't it? Oh god, I've forgotten now. So tail fins are a 5-to-1. Wings and sails are a... You bastard crap. Yes. Regular wing pieces are a 2-to-1. Paddles are a 4-to-1. What about the aileron? I would imagine the aileron is the same as a paddle. Oh no, the aileron is slightly better than a paddle. Hmm. 5-1. Ooh, 5-1. Like a tail fin. Interesting. Well, I guess that makes sense. So control surfaces are 5-1. Wings are 2-1. Sails are 4-1. That's kinda neat. How are we doing on time? Well, we've been at it for over an hour. Huh. Yeah. I think that pretty definitively, wow. That has been some neat science. I think that's good for this video. So, to recap, some aerodynamic recap. So, tail fins have a 5-1 drag augmentation, and it seems that the control surfaces, I haven't fully tested everything, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say all of the control surface blocks, so the tail fins, the elevators, the ailerons, the elevator tail, the elevator blocks, the ailerons, all of them are going to have a 5-1 drag ratio, drag augmentation, which means one red triangle on them is worth 5 red triangles on a frame block. So the wing parts, the standard wing parts, the modular wings and the flap wings, are exactly the same as each other, but they have a 2-1 drag ratio compared to frame blocks. Let's see, where else? Oh, the sail pieces have a 4-1, and then the paddles also have a, what was it? Paddle was a 5-1? Paddle was a 5-1, wasn't it? So this is 4. That's 2x3. So paddle is 5-1, 2x3. Yeah, 2x3. So we want 2 tall and so that's 8, 12. Okay, so that's a 4-1. Okay, so it's not 4-1. The paddle's 2-1? Yeah, paddles are 2-1, same as the wing pieces. Interesting. Okay. Tail fins and the other control surfaces are a 5-1 drag ratio. Wings and paddles are a 2-1 drag ratio. And the sail parts are a 4-1 drag ratio. Drag augmentation ratio. Interesting. Not sure why they were given more. I'm sure the devs have, I don't know, I would imagine that they needed to do that for things to, like, feel remotely regular. But that's going to do it for tonight's session of Video Game Science. So thank you for coming along for the ride.